feel like some people, when they hear it the first time, it doesn't really like penetrate. Like you need to like listen to this stuff a few times before it finally penetrates. You know what I mean?
Well, not only that, bro, but we live in an age of, I guess you could say, well, fear, right? People are so fearful to take steps to break free out of their comfort zone. And so crypto one and within itself is already a space that's very concentrated on pumping fear into the masses by telling them that it's a scam and that, you know, their money's going to go to zero, whatever the case may be. And then when you add the DeFi layer on top of it and you find out that holding digital assets isn't really the road to riches, and you can actually be making money on your passive income on your digital asset holdings, it's like, what? Then you start to get into it, and just like in regular crypto and DeFi, it's a whole bunch of scams, it's a whole bunch of fake projects, whole bunch of fake dexes, whole bunch of rug pulls. So you really got to do your due diligence and sift through all that bull crap. But then when you come to find out the possibilities that you can achieve, I mean, it's nuts, man. You're printing money. It's like a real realization. The DeFi is the real reason why the elites don't want us involved. The elites don't care about the fact that some people hold XRP and might become multimillionaires long term down the road.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what they care. They don't want you involved in crypto because we can print money by being liquidity providers. And it's nuts. It's monumental.
It really is, man. And when you create a business behind it, this is just me being a business owner the past 6 years. This is monumental because the amount of just expenses you have when you have a business is just through the roof compared to DeFi, where all you really need to do is just have the money stacked up, know exactly, the best projects to lend your money to those liquidity pools to, and you're just going to see your money just grow, and grow. And like you're saying, they don't want us to know about this stuff, man. Like when I first came across this information and started resonating with me, bro, I did not sleep. I was sleeping maybe 3 or 4 hours a day because the research is unlimited. Like you were saying, like there's just unlimited dexes, there's unlimited pools out there, and you have to really do your research and know exactly where you're going to put your money because there's exactly what you're saying. There's rug pulls, there's scams. You could put your money in there because you thought it was going to pay you 1,200%, and it ended up being a scam. But had you done the homework and you really did the due diligence, you would have known not to put your money there.
Yeah.
And
well, that's why you don't want to chase, just like when you're a trader, just like when you're a novice investor, you don't want to chase the pumps. Just like in DeFi, and if you're getting into decentralized exchanges that offer the ability for you to provide liquidity, you don't want to get into these projects that are offering 1,000% returns. That's being greedy. That's asking for too much. When in reality, you could find a good blue chip pair like AVAX USDC or HBAR USDC that provides an upwards of 68% APR, be a liquidity provider, be comfortable and happy with that percentage because that's 1,000 times more than traditional finance right off the bat. And being comfortable with those APRs, you can compound that money, compound that account, and make a very significant living just off of passive income through DeFi.
100%, bro. 100%.
A lot of people don't know about that. I mean, it's already such a small space, right? I think I was reading an article today talking about how there's only 580 million active crypto users as of a report from crypto.com that took place in 2024 in January. And so if you think about the small amount of the population that's currently invested in a crypto, vast majority of that population is and only knows about the top digital assets like Bitcoin, Ether, and then meme coins. Not a lot of people know about utility. Then the group of individuals that actually know about utility, they only really know the buy and hold strategy that we've all been led to believe is the road to success, right?
Fact.
Buy XRP, hold it for years, and you'll eventually see $1,000 price tag on it. buy XDC, buy HBAR, buy all these ISO tokens and hold them. And
Facts.
you'll eventually, your long-term bags will make you millions. But in reality, all those cryptos that I just mentioned could have been printing you money this whole entire time by being a liquidity provider for trading pairs on those assets. Nuts.
Literally, and get paid off of the fees that are made while, from the transactions that happen on that blockchain. So for those that think that, like, oh, it's a Ponzi scheme or it's a scam, it's not. You're providing liquidity to a pair, a pool pair, and whenever somebody swaps for those pair, you're going to get paid a percentage off the fees depending on how much you provided to that pool. So this is a real deal Holyfield. And why it's so brand new, I feel like, to the space too, is because the only ones that were liquid, the only people that were able to be liquidity providers in the past with the old way of banking is these major banks and institutions. The average Joe could not be a liquidity provider. And that's what DeFi throws a monkey wrench in the whole setup now for these people, because now
Which is
the
exactly
average
why they
Joe,
don't want us to.
exactly, and if you're the average, and let's just say you're above average, boy, oh boy, you could really make a killing in here if you know what you're doing and compound and snowball way quicker than waiting every 4 years for the Bitcoin halving and wait for these bull runs to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, the money's here now.
There, you'll tell them straight up. You'll tell them, you could have been making, especially with these XRPL integrations into DeFi and the AMMs and whatnot, and what's about to happen and take place. It's like you really start to realize something that I've realized getting into DeFi is why digital assets that have way more utility and use case than Ethereum are way lower of a value. If you go look at the total value locked on the XDC network as an example, it's like $8.3 million. That's it. That's the trading that's the trading activity on the XDC network. But compare Ethereum to XDC. XDC blows Ethereum out of the water in use case and utility. Faster throughput, better smart contracts, lower gas fees, right? All that stuff. We get that. But if you go look at the trading volume, the total value locked on the Ethereum network, it's like $52 billion or something. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
And so that is why Ethereum is a lot more than XDC, because there's no trading volume. There's no trading volume on the XDC network. And when you realize that, it's like,
yeah, that's what
okay. And so, holding these digital assets that provide utility, cool, long term, phenomenal. But what are you going to do in the short term to make money, to make that passive income? And DeFi, bro, is a clear road to that holy grail that you've literally been waiting for this entire time. You know how many people are just holding digital assets and hoping every night they go to sleep, they're like, I can't wait to become a millionaire. When in reality, if a year ago you started providing liquidity, you could be this much closer to becoming a millionaire now.
100%. 100%. And that's the problem. A lot of people, they hear DeFi, and maybe they watched a video on it, or they heard something and they read an article on it, and they think they have an idea of what DeFi is, but they're only surface level. Once you get below the surface of what DeFi really is, that's when you're going to have what Cypress just had, that aha moment where you're like, your brain is exploding. And that's exactly what happened to me. I was like, yo, like, that makes sense why Ethereum is the price it is. That makes sense why Solana is the price that it is. And all the meme coins that run on Solana are the price that they are, because that's where the liquidity is. And then I was like, oh shit. I was like, it makes sense. Like, XRP's price was never going to go north until these AMMs were set up, until the XRP stablecoin comes out. Like, the price was never going to move until all these things were set in place. And now it's just like a waiting game, in my opinion. I feel like once these XRP liquidity pools fill up, that's when we're going to see the price of XRP really move. And I don't know. Maybe it's the big institutions coming in. I don't know. But
I agree to an extent. Right now, people need to understand that we're in a trading environment. And so what drives the prices of these digital assets right now is the liquidity that's locked on the networks that provide trading. And if you go look at the trading activity on the XRPL or the XDC network, or even on Hedera, you go look at that. You can go look at all this on DeFi Llama yourself. Like, we're not making this up. You can go look at the total value locked on all these networks. It's very minuscule. But then also, not only that, there's not a lot of decentralized exchanges that offer access to the XRP ecosystem or the XDC network or the Hedera network to actually provide liquidity for said trading pairs like HBAR USDC or XDC USDC or so on and so forth. There aren't a lot of DEXs. There's like 4 or 5 DEXs that provide access for you to be a liquidity provider for XDC trading pairs, which is why there's only $8.3 million locked on the XDC network in total value locked. Whereas if you go look at the Ether network, the Ethereum network, or the Solana network, right? Yeah. And you go look at the amount of DEXs, the amount of decentralized applications, the amount of platforms that offer the ability for us as manual retail investors to provide liquidity, there's hundreds of them.
Hundreds.
Like literally hundreds. I'm not making this up. You can find lending probably lending platforms, compound platforms, yielding platforms, staking platforms for the Ethereum network. And that's why it's so much money, because there's so much liquidity being provided for. It's nuts when you really start to think about this. We're about to get some we're about to get some massive volatility. It's actually good timing because